Hello. We are, as you can tell, for the video listener, we are in the car. So if there's a lot of background noise, I apologize, but we have really no other place to film this.
Yeah, my house is unfortunately louder than the car, and we are at my house for the weekend. So, do you want me to say something else? I thought you were going to continue your intro.
This week, we are going to talk about...
We're going to talk about a couple friend trips that we went on, one together, and then she has one to talk about that she went on separately. And for the video viewers, we're going to do a Target haul.
I forgot about that.
And a Dave & Buster's haul.
We'll do a little bit of a haul. We didn't get a whole lot of stuff.
No, but...
We got 2 t-shirts. What else did we get?
I got a Pokemon stuffed animal at Dave & Buster's. And we got a matching shot glass set.
And I got two new decomposition journals.
We also got a puzzle at Barnes & Noble.
Oh yeah, the puzzle is like actually so cute.
And it's like so us too. Like I'm very excited.
Signs, and they work very well. Like what's depicted for Heaven's zodiac sign like fits Heaven so well, and then it's pretty much the same for mine. Heaven's is pretty spot on though. Like, it's, like, really spot on.
Like, when we show you, I'll explain why.
Yeah. But before we get into the story, since we're doing our own personal story, once again, I don't have a written-in story. So if you want to have your story on the next episode, you can either email me at un-amusepod@yahoo.com, or you can DM me at madrosepie on Instagram. So, yeah, I would love for you guys to talk to me.
Speaking of those story submissions, I thought about emailing her off my fake email, a Pretty Little Liars storyline, and seeing if she could figure out that it was real or fake.
I did not know that.
I considered it. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to know that I was doing that. So I was
That's really funny.
I really thought about doing it, but then I was like, I felt like you would know because we watched the show together. And I feel like you would recognize the email that I made because I left a bad review for a tattoo place with it. I used my fake email to write the bad review for the freaking the tattoo place that charged me $120 for a little like dragon that's like this big on the back of my leg.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation. Sabrina Carpenter is coming out with an album called Short and Sweet, and then she just released that she's doing a tour. And since that has released, the news has been released, we've seen, or at least I have seen, a lot of people talk about the fact that everyone is going on tours right now, and people are like excited about it, but also really stressed out because
they want to
broke and can't see everyone.
Yeah, and I've also seen a lot of people complaining about specifically Sabrina Carpenter's pricing because hers is what they call dynamic pricing, so it like changes as like the demand changes, and it changes like so you could get a ticket for $26 or you could get a ticket for $300, and they could be in potentially the same section, and a lot of people are rightfully so upset about that, and that's without the VIP. The VIP, the cheapest one is I think $150, so a lot of people are complaining about that, and then they're also worried about losing their tickets to people who just discovered Sabrina Carpenter rather than people like me who have liked her since like Can't Blame a Girl for Trying.
Can't blame a girl for trying.
Oh, whoa, whoa, oh. I love me some Sabrina Carpenter. Girl Meets World was my favorite show when I was younger, and it's still up there in my favorites, even though it's incredibly cringy.
It is so cringy. The way that they talk to each other and how every single episode has like a really dramatic
plot line. It's so fun. Like it genuinely, like it's like for me now, it's like mindless entertainment and nostalgia is the reason that I'll go watch it. But the only episode that I'm like super cringed out by is the episode where Farkle has to do the test for autism.
I've been seeing that all the time recently, like people making fun of that scene.
Because she's like, no, you don't. You don't have autism. You're just Farkle. You're just weird. Like, she's so butthurt that he might be autistic, and it's like kind of funny. Like, it's like embarrassing, low-key.
I don't know why they have that episode.
I feel like they were trying to like show that like even you may think your friend is like quirky and weird, but they might actually have like a mental disability. But you end up finding out, not to spoil it, but I'm gonna spoil it. Farkle doesn't have autism, but there's another girl, her name is Smackle, and she acts literally the exact same as Farkle, but as a girl, and she has, I don't know if they call it this anymore, but at the time they called it Asperger's syndrome. she thought that Farkle had the same thing, so she was a little disappointed that he didn't have that disability because she felt like she related to him.
I do not recall this episode. I've seen it recently because people have been talking about it, making fun of it, but I don't think I've ever actually watched it myself.
I seen this one meme. It was from the Please 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 music videos, and it was Barry Keoghan with the gun. Is that his name? Barry Keoghan,
Yeah.
Keoghan. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but with the gun, and it's like, she said you don't have autism.
Oh my gosh, I have seen
that one. That one made me.
I've
I
seen
almost
that.
peed my pants.
Oh.
It was so funny.
Oh my gosh. He is good in that music video.
I get it. That's the one, like, I don't know if I got, like, there were some scenes in Saltburn where, like, I got it, and then the other scenes I was like...
I got it at Eternals.
I really don't remember that movie. That was really a fever dream for me. I really only watched that movie because...
It really is a fever dream.
Harry Styles was in it.
Did that even happen? Did it happen? I don't think it did.
You could tell me that it didn't happen.
I would believe you.
Because I've literally only watched that movie for the, like, 5-second long end credit scene, unfortunately, that had Harry Styles at the end of it.
I feel like they just forgot about it.
Yeah, because I feel like there was supposed to be more, and, like, Harry Styles had, like, a contract with Marvel for a couple more movies, and he just...
It just hasn't happened.
No.
Yeah. I'm genuinely confused. Like, this is a little sidetrack about Eternals, but, like, the whole story with Eternals, I think it happens within the Marvel universe, right? Or something like that. I think
I'm not a Marvel girly, so...
The things that happen in the Eternals movie with those, like, gods that just, like, appear in the earth, and they're just these huge things, and then you go to, like, the other Marvel movies and no one talks about it. Like, oh,
like, is
there's
it like
not
a
just
Marvel
huge...
fever dream? Like, is it like
It
a
might
fever
be.
dream for, like, the Marvel universe? Like,
Yeah.
like somebody had this like fever dream and then forgot about it.
And Jon Snow from...
Yes, his real name is Kit Harington.
Kit Harington is in
recently.
that movie. A lot of people are in that movie, actually, which I have a feeling is probably why it hasn't been made, because
a lot of bigger people were in it, so I feel like it's harder to get those people back because, like, they have, like, other projects and stuff. They're, like, busy people. I literally remember Barry Keoghan and Harry Styles. That's it.
I was introduced to Barry Keoghan, whatever, through Dunkirk, though.
Me as well. Because Harry Styles is Alex in that movie.
Spoiler alert, he dies.
Yes, Barry Keoghan does that.
He gets shoved down some stairs. Anyway, we were not supposed to talk about that. I don't
know. No, none of that, like, whole tangent that we just went on. Like, we're supposed to be talking about people going on tour, and then we ended up on Marvel movies.
How did that
Shout
happen?
out to Sabrina Carpenter's boyfriend for that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I like that he's becoming more of a thing. I think
he's pretty talented as an actor. I feel like he has a lot of range. Like, going from, like kind of like a cute little, like, teenage boy who's, like, just trying to help in, like, Dunkirk, and then he goes to, like, Eternals, and then he acts like a complete psycho in Saltburn.
Saltburn is a good movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it
5 times.
My dad asked me if it was a good movie, and I was like, yeah, it is. It really is a good movie. And he was like, okay. It was a very short conversation. I'm like, it's a really good movie cinematically.
Yeah, but I think that Saltburn was, like, it was very interesting, and I feel like every time you watch it, you, like, catch something different. I really like Jacob Elordi, and that's part of the reason I watched it, and I was also interested because a lot of people were talking about it on TikTok with, like, the bathtub scene and everything. That scene, I can't.
And the fact that that's, like, what... That's, like, if you think of Saltburn, you think of the bathtub scene because that's what people market it on.
And literally the vinyl track, like the record
for
the album,
bathtub drain.
It's literally the bathtub drain, and it's like there's, like, actual liquid, like, underneath the pressing.
That's creamy looking,
creamy colored. It's low key bad. It's low key disturbing.
That was disturbing. This is a brief intermission. We're back from a 2-hour-long intermission.
Not supposed to be 2 hours long, but we didn't turn on the mic.
We
70
filmed
minutes of footage
with no audio
for us to throw it out the window.
Heaven just went to a Niall
Horan from One Direction.
Yes. No, the day before yesterday.
It was on Friday, June 21st at Saratoga Performing Arts Center. It's a very pretty place, actually. If you're from New York, you might know what I'm talking about, but it is a very nice place. It's very pretty. And Niall's a great performer. And he brought out Ash for moral of the story, and she hasn't performed in like 4
love
years.
that song.
Yeah, and I love
moral
him.
of the story, babe.
And then he's like, and we burn down our paper house. Gobbles it up. Hearing that live was like truly a phenomenal moment.
I did not know that was him.
I did.
I was not paying attention.
I was really surprised that he did that, honestly. But he literally said, I have a surprise for you guys. And immediately I knew what he was going to do. I knew that he was going to perform it, but I didn't expect him to bring her. I just feel like Saratoga, New York is such a random place to bring someone. I guess some artists like upstate New York because a lot of them don't. One of the hardest parts about being from upstate New York is a lot of the closest places that people do go on tour is New York City or Philadelphia. We don't really get a lot of people that come to upstate New York, and Niall is nice enough a person to come up here twice. He went to Saratoga and Buffalo.
Yeah, I've only ever gone to one concert, which was Miss Lana Del Rey.
Love her.
Love her. It was very fun.
And we got lucky with those tickets because we knew someone who was selling them.
Yeah. The one thing that wasn't fun though was the
parking lot.
Parking lot. Oh my gosh, it was literally the worst thing ever.
But we were in the parking lot for 4 hours. Like literally, we both slept the entire time, and we didn't move.
No, we were in our parking spot for 4 hours or however long it was.
And then it took us an hour to get out of the parking lot, I feel like. Or like 30 minutes.
It was more like it took 30 minutes to actually get out of the parking lot once the line hit our space. But then I ended up driving throughout the night. So we didn't get home till 7 a.m.
Yeah, and we had stopped to get food, but the 24-hour McDonald's was closed. And then the 24-hour Taco Bell closed as soon as we pulled up to the drive-thru.
Because their stuff wasn't working or whatever. It was...
Oh, yeah, they were like, our computers aren't working, so we have to close. And we were like...
So we didn't eat
for...
anything
hours, and we didn't eat until after probably like 3 o'clock the next day because we picked up our cat.
Yeah, it was a very unfortunate situation, but the concert itself was nice,
really good.
But the venue parking was not it. Someone the only excuse would be that someone died, and I don't think anyone did.
I didn't hear about anyone dying.
No. I hope that no one died.
I do hope that no one died, but it would make me feel better about why we sat.
I feel like if someone died, Lana would have posted something about it.
I'm like, so sorry to hear that someone passed at our show. Love you, Brokey.
But Lana said "love you, Brokey"
to a fan who commented on a watch that she wore. I don't know if I said this in the one that does have sound, and she commented "love you, Brokey" with a pink heart, and that is one of my favorite things that any person has ever said in the whole universe.
Yeah. But yeah, so concerts are fun, but there's also too many right now, in other words.
Yeah.
And they're expensive.
Yeah, like a lot of people are on tour right now. Like I think Hosier's on tour, Chapel Roan's on tour, Sabrina's about to go on tour, and just everybody good is on tour right now. Taylor, of course, Miss Queen is on tour.
For the rest of the year.
Yeah, she ends it in December, unfortunately. I honestly could foresee her... Like, I think sometimes I feel like she's low-key playing us. Like, she's saying she's going to end it in December.
Actually, I'm doing it again for another year.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to do it again for another year, and maybe she'll... Because there's rumors that she's going to release the other 2 re-records this year. At least one of them by the end of this year. So maybe Debut will finally get its time to shine on the set list. Because she never actually toured Debut, and she doesn't have it on the set list, which is not nice. I need Tim McGraw on the set list now.
We're going to the Eras Tour in November, and we're very excited.
Yeah, my 21st birthday.
Whoop, whoop.
That was, like, I do not recommend being the ticket person ever. Like, so that was only the second time I'd ever had to get tickets on Ticketmaster, because usually I never got the code. The last time I got the pre-sale code, it was for Why Don't We, and I was, like, first in line in the queue. I got the tickets. I got, like, lower, like almost pit but like not quite pit of the venue, and like it was only $150 for 2 people. So I was like, okay, like that's late. Yeah. And then they canceled their tour, so I didn't go to that, unfortunately. That would have been my second time seeing them, but they canceled. And then the second time I ever got tickets was for Taylor Swift, and I was getting tickets for 4 people instead of 2, so I was screaming and crying trying to get these tickets because every time I clicked on a ticket, somebody bought it. And I had to separate... Well, she's more my friend than Maddie and Sam's friend, but I had to separate my friend. That was it. She's like... I had to get 3 seats up there and then 1 down here. And she's my high school friend, so she took 1 for the team and was like, I'll be by myself. And I was like, okay, well, I'll sit at the end of the row since it's like 1 seat over from where I'm sitting. It was a struggle, and I don't recommend the Ticketmaster War for anyone. But I survived the Great War. Okay, so we wanted to transition into talking about
Inside Out
2. We saw the second one the day it came out. That was my doing. I will say that I was like, if we don't see that, I will never, the day it comes out, I'll never forgive you. Very dramatic of me, but I have the largest soft spot in my heart for the original Inside Out. Every time I watch it, I'm inconsolably in tears, and I just am so moved by this movie.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people our age have like a special place in their heart for that movie. I am not one of those people. I do not like Inside Out. But
well, when it first came out, she was 11 in the movie, and we were 11 when it came out, like right around 11. It came out in 2015, so we were around 11, 12. I was 11, and like I just remember like seeing like her like feeling all these things and seeing like, you know, like, because I didn't move across the country, but I did have to move schools and make new friends like right at that age, so like I really related to Riley, so I've always had this connection to the movie. And then obviously the second one comes out, I'm right there, I'm sad, so we went, and
it was interesting.
I personally liked it. I thought it was really cute.
I
Maddie,
thought it was fine.
It pained her soul, unfortunately.
It really did. I was getting a lot of secondhand embarrassment the entire time.
Well,
I think, but then
Riley's
again,
14.
I feel like whenever I watch anything that has middle schoolers doing anything, I get major secondhand embarrassment.
I thought it was cute. I was like, I remember being that age and being that cringy and ridiculous. So like, I was like, I feel that. And like, she was like, you know, making new friends and trying to impress like the cool hockey girls. And I was like, that's totally like so me coded. Like, I was so embarrassing when I was that age.
It's definitely relatable, but I don't care. I don't know.
Joy and anxiety were my ops, though. I love Maya Hawke.
I hate Joy.
I love Maya Hawke, and I was so excited that she was going to be in this movie.
Anxiety was giving me anxiety.
Anxiety was making me so mad. I'm like, some of the times, like, I'm like, you had a point. You have a point. Like, the getting up early and playing the hockey. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, that's not really a spoiler, but we might spoil. Just so you know. She was, you know, playing the hockey. That I understood, like, getting up early, you know, practicing, trying to be good, but like completely dropping your only friends, like completely like changing who you are as a person. Like, I get like, you know, you're in the age where you kind of figure that stuff out, but that was just like so much.
There was definitely some things where it felt like a little bit too dramatic. Like, I feel like in reality, the way that it would have played out would have been she was anxious not only because, well, there's like multiple thoughts. Like, whenever you have anxiety, you think like a mile a minute about a bunch of different stuff that could potentially go wrong, or like potential different outcomes. They did address that
with the they did like a studio where they had people drawing up for anxiety all the worst scenarios, which I thought was kind of funny.
The only thing that anxiety focused on was the different outcomes that could happen if she doesn't get on the team for the high school team. But I feel like in reality, she would not only be thinking of what would happen if she's doesn't get on the high school team, but also the anxiety of having to choose, feeling like she has to choose one friend over the other, the anxiety of
trying to fit in on this hockey team and being like a part of like the cooler girls, because like, you know, they said that in the movie that the hockey girl Val was the first and only freshman who's ever gotten on the team. So like, if Riley had gotten on the team, like, she'd have to figure out how she would fit in because she was an incoming freshman.
But there would also be anxiety over like looking through that notebook. Like, I feel like she would be more anxious about a lot more factors based off of the story, but it only focused on one. I think that was probably the most unrealistic thing.
I agree about
out
that.
of all of it.
One thing I did not appreciate, it was like kind of funny, but like at the same time it kind of annoyed me, was the character Pouchy.
Oh my gosh, that was the best part of the entire movie. It was really? Like Dora.
I didn't like
it. No, it was annoying, but it was funny because it caught me off guard. I was like, "What is happening
the scene,
right
though,
now?"
Where they're like trying to figure out like how they're gonna get back to headquarters, and then Anger, like, he like straight violates Pouchy. He
violates that poor bag.
His like mouth open and shoves his arm.
It was
like,
insane.
In
I was like, what is happening?
He was literally like, no. So if you this is Pouchy. He was literally like for the video.
The Pouchy's it's its mouth, like the way it's talking. It's a zip. It's a zip,
and then you open it, and then it spits stuff out,
like putting like fisting this freaking mouth. trying to pull
fisting
things
is
out.
crazy, and he like rips out like, and then he keeps pulling out sticks of dynamite.
It was insane. That was like, I was baffled.
I was
that was
so
happening.
shook. I was like, what is happening? And then another thing that weirded me out was the weird, like, it was kind of funny too, but it like weirded me out was the weird video game guy.
That entire scene. I was like, what? This is going on way too long.
I was like, why is he here? Like, get rid of him.
He's a deep dark secret apparently. It's like having like a deep dark secret
Of like
crush
a
or
crush
something.
Like it was like her like embarrassing crush to a degree,
Yeah.
and then like one of her other ones was that she still liked a little kids show, which I'll be the first one to say it. I still like Barney when I was like 8, so I don't know, like eight into like 12. Like, I'm not even gonna play. And I still have a fondness for Barney, but like I'm not gonna sit down and watch it.
No, not Barney.
Unless it's the Selena Gomez Barney.
But yeah. Anyway, the movie was fine.
I thought it was
The best
really
part.
sweet.
No, the best part about that movie was embarrassment.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
Embarrassment is the best one.
He is so cute and so sweet.
His
like,
little butt crack.
Oh my god! Every time he'd fall over, his little butt crack.
Which is like, it's embarrassing. It's funny. Like, of course, like you think whenever I crouch over,
huge, like, cute nose. I'm obsessed with him. Like, I can't stop thinking about him ever since I seen this movie.
No, he's so cute.
One thing I will say is, I feel like out of the new emotions, anxiety was the most annoying, but I feel like the one who I low-key cared about the least was Envy. Like, she was kind of cute, but she was just there.
I honestly forgot that she was there half the time.
Yeah, me too. I really liked, though, a lot of people say that this is the worst character. Ennui?
She's
like,
no.
I am what you call the bottom. And she's just like laying there on her phone all the time.
No, but it's such
like,
a, but that's
so
like,
me. That's so relatable. Like,
that's such
so
a relatable
real.
teenager mood to develop.
I'm gonna call you Wee Wee.
No.
And it's so funny because she's the only one that's French too. So like when she talks, it's so out there. And I really like that about her.
She's just a random French girl that's always on her phone. That's the thing. Like, she's always on her phone, so it's a very teenager thing.
And like, they actually have like a storyline focused around the phone, which I thought was really funny and interesting. So
I don't even have phones in the brain.
Yeah,
is a thing.
And she's the only one though.
She's the only one that has a phone.
Because when you're bored, you know what you do? You sit on your phone.
She was bored and lazy.
The only time I feel like I ever seen her actually like get up was when she couldn't find her phone. Yeah. And she threw the couch. She literally. So she like lays out. She mopes around on the couch all the time. No. Throws the couch.
There was definitely some funny parts about it.
It was definitely, I feel, more funny than the first one.
I didn't have as many feelings in this one because Bing Bong is not there. Spoiler alert, Bing Bong is not there. He does not make an appearance that I noticed. There's no like hint towards him at all. So I did not cry. But during the panic attack thing is the only time that I felt the most relatable.
I teared up a little bit. I didn't cry, but I teared up. I just have a really soft spot for the original. I did find out recently I was watching like a 20 fun facts about Inside Out, and one of the things I remembered is in Riley's memories, like when Joy and Sadness are walking through like all the memories, there's like memories from other movies. Like if you look at the memories closely, they're like scenes from other movies, and one of the ones that they pointed out was it was Carl and Elle's wedding from Up, and I thought that was a very sweet homage because I love Up, but I can't watch it because it makes me cry very much.
Yeah, I don't like sad movies. But anyway, if you haven't seen it and you like cartoons, then go see it.
If you liked the first one, I think you would like the second one.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're gonna get into our friendship topics. Because whenever you go on, so I've gone on many trips. Whenever I was younger, I used to go on a lot of trips with my family and stuff. Going on trips with friends didn't happen for me until I was older. And then going on trips with friends whenever there's no parentals is something that it sounds fun when you're planning it, but whenever it actually happens, it never goes the way that you want it to. And I know we're not the only ones that think this way.
Yeah, so I never had that experience before. Like, I hadn't gone on a trip with friends before. Like, the only trip I'd ever been on was I'd gone on vacations with an ex-girlfriend of mine. But there was a parent. There was always at least one parent there, if not two, and sometimes her older brother. So, like, that was, like, whatever.
Something that I noticed because I've also gone on trips with friends, but with either my parents or their parents, and that has always gone 10 times smoother. And I honestly think
there's a parent there,
that's the way to go, because the responsibility goes on the parents most of the time. So,
I would agree.
So, like, you don't have to stress out about as much, and it kind of just all goes on to the parents, so you can relax more and just hang out more with your friends. Because I've gone to one that I remember is I went to New York City with for my best friend's birthday, her like 18th birthday or something like that. And then one of our other friends came, but we went with her parents and then her like aunt and uncle or whatever. And that trip, we didn't have any issues amongst our friendship on that trip, because it was very much so we're just gonna follow the parents. They're paying for most things, and we pay for anything extra, but they pay for everything else. Very easygoing, very fun. But then as soon as the parents are out of the equation, it becomes a completely different
scenario, and it ends up being kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it does. And I feel like for me, I have two stories. So we have the one that we went on together, and then I have one that I went on with my friends from high school, and both times ended up with the friend group being broken up to a degree.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with our friend group trip. So we have to go back a little bit before the trip, and we have to talk about when we planned the trip.
So there's a
friend group,
a couple people that are involved. It's us two, and then there's
Sam,
Sam,
who we can name drop because she kind of fizzles
she's
out.
our friend still.
Yeah, and she fizzles out of the story, and she's still our friend, and there's nothing really about her other than the beginning part. And then we're gonna use code names. There's Toad, and then there's Sloth, and then Baby Sloth, who is Sloth's little sister.
Yeah.
So we planned the trip probably like a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks before our last semester at our old college ended, because we wanted to do like a last hurrah type thing. You know, our school was closing. We wanted to see each other again, and we were scared of like not hanging out as much, so we wanted to, and we were hoping to make it an annual thing, but we'll get into why that doesn't happen. But so Sam was the one who approached us with the idea for us to go on a trip. She says, "Hey, we should go to New York City this summer." And then we thought about it at first, and we were like, we don't really want to go. New York City's smelly.
I wanted to go to a degree. Like, I wouldn't mind going to New York City, but it's expensive, it's smelly, and it wasn't as like summery. It's more of like, I feel like a wintry vacation.
Yeah, and we wanted to do like a more summer, at least majority of us wanted to do a more summery type thing, and New York City is smelly, and you know, it being hot, it's gonna make it more smelly.
Super relaxing.
Yeah, and you're gonna be walking like crazy, and you know, I was like, it's too hot to be doing stuff like that. So we were like, because we were planning it for the week of the 4th of July, like we went 2 days before and we left the day after. So we were like, we should go to the beach, and I know that Connecticut has good beaches, and another Toad, she has also been to Connecticut, so she said that she really likes it. And I was like, well, we could do like, you know, we could do one day where we go to like a tourist town, and you know, we
want to go to Mystic.
Yeah, Mystic is the tourist town in Connecticut. It's where the famous movie Mystic Pizza with Julia Roberts was filmed. If you know what that is, there's pictures of her all over that restaurant, by the way.
All over it.
Yeah, literally, we sat. I think I have a picture of me and Maddie. Like, we split our heads, and there was Julia Roberts right in between our heads. And but so we decided that we wanted to go there. So we approached Sam, and we gave her like this cutesy little dorky PowerPoint, and was like, we should go to Connecticut instead. And she was like, okay. I don't know why you thought you had to like make it a whole thing. Like, I love the beach, you know, whatever. And so we were like, okay. We were planning a beach trip, and then we were talking about who was gonna drive. Originally, Sam wanted to drive. And then we were like, well, your car is kind of tiny. And then she was like, yeah, that's true. And she was like, well, maybe I can get my mom's car. And then Toad was like, well, I can definitely get my car, and we can bring my car. And we're like, okay, we didn't really want her to, but it was like the best bet. And Maddie's car is also small, and because the best scenario would have been for Maddie to drive, but her car can't handle that big of a trip because it's about 5 hours, and also it's not that big. It's a little more roomy than Sam's car, but
yeah, honestly, I would have been the best bet. Not only because I personally think I'm the best driver out of all of them. I mean, I'm a little bit like hectic.
I think you're only really hectic when other people are being hectic. I personally think that you're definitely a better driver than Sam. And Catherine is a very you're definitely a better driver than Sam. Toad is very like anxious
and angry,
and doesn't really know what they're like, what she's doing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this isn't really have anything to do with like this story, but a lot of this, what happened in Connecticut. So Toad and Sloth were the only ones that were allowed to drive the car, and that's, a big factor of the story. But part
Can we
of
just
what
preface before you start talking? Maddie has had her license for 5 years now.
16.
She's had her license since you can get a license in most states, and Toad has had her license at the time had her license for 1 year, not even a whole year yet.
Yeah, so
she got her license in August before sophomore year.
Yeah, that's why she's always like anxious and stuff and whatever, which is like understandable or whatever. But Sloth, but especially Toad, both of them, I don't really remember exactly differentiating them, but both of them had a really hard time direction wise. Like they had no idea where they could not remember where they've previously driven, and they kept on taking weird turns, long ways. That was like extremely infuriating to me the entire time. I'm like I remember how to get home. I remember how to do this. Let me drive, but they refused to let me drive. Anyway, I would have been the best driver because not only have I driven the longest, I've driven for years, but I've also have the most experience with driving. Oh, hang on. Because I drove from Dallas, Texas to Lexington, North Carolina in 2 days, and I've just driven a lot. I have driven an excessive amount, so I have a lot of experience. I also am very used to having to deal with chaos and stressful situations because of my family, and I have a bunch of younger cousins and sisters.
And also driving in Dallas.
If you know, you know.
I've never been to Dallas, but I've seen like she showed me like photos of like their highways.
It's horrible.
Stuff, and I'm like, that is insane. That would never happen.
No, yeah. So it's so the best choice would have been for me to drive, but that wasn't an option because I don't have a big enough car, and nor did my family have a big enough car for all of us. So Toad had to be the one to drive because she had the biggest car, unfortunately, which was a driving factor for the story because since she was driving, she felt that she had the control over the entire trip.
Every single thing.
Sam had some beef with Heaven, and during this time before the trip, not too long after we proposed going to the beach, during the end of this spring semester.
It was honestly stupid. I don't even remember what it was. Like, it was probably like I forgot to text her that we were going to dinner or something. Yeah. Actually, I think that is what it was.
It might have been that.
I think because she told me to text her when we were going to dinner, and I forgot to text her when we went to McDonald's. Oh. Because Toad told me that she wasn't going to pick Sam up.
Yeah. So, Toad and Sam had always been butting heads. They never really liked each other that much. They just kind of more tolerated each other for Heaven.
We didn't really notice that or like know that like it was like for my sake mainly, or that they didn't really like each other until towards like the end of sophomore year, because freshman year we were focused so much on like other drama that like they didn't really have the time to notice that their personalities just don't mesh that well. Maybe it's because they're both Leos.
Maybe
they're literally 3 days apart.
Yeah, they butt heads literally all the time. Toad was not happy with Sam at all, and then there was this like ultimatum that Toad made up, saying that if Sam did not come to the club with us one night for our last hurrah together before the semester ended, then she was going to be uninvited to this trip.
Unfortunately, Maddie and I, we did kind of be ostriches to a degree. Like, I did say that uninviting Sam wasn't a good idea and that it would make me sad, but ultimately Toad was like, I have control, I'm gonna invite who I want to invite.
We should have put our foot down, but we didn't,
and that is something I will regret, and I do appreciate Sam for forgiving me for that.
And we got what we deserved, that's for sure.
I don't know if we deserved that bad of a trip for that, but that's fine. So
we were kind of assholes, but
yeah, it kind of felt at the time that we were in a rock and a hard place, and it was really hard to make a decision about that kind of stuff because, like, since they were beefing, we didn't want it to feel like we were picking sides, and we didn't know how to go about it without sounding like we were picking sides. So Sam was upset with me, and we didn't go to the club. Or she didn't go to the club, we went. And then Toad made up this ultimatum and was like, since she didn't go, we're not inviting her anymore, and I'm going to uninvite her. Which Sam never knew of this ultimatum. This ultimatum was unspoken. Like, it was spoken between us and then, not Sam. And so, in other words, Sam did not know she was going to be uninvited if she did not go to this club. Well, I felt guilty once it was, like, decided that she was gonna be uninvited, and I felt like a horrible friend, and, like, I honestly shouldn't have even gone, to be honest. Like, I should have been like, I can't go.
That's why I said we were kind of assholes.
Yeah, I should have been like, I can't go.
Yeah.
I can't go if you're gonna
We were being
Sam.
selfish.
Yeah.
To a degree, that's for sure.
Yeah. But I texted Sam because I felt bad, and I was like, hey, I want you to know I don't want you to be blindsided. You're gonna get uninvited. I did stand up for you as best as I could, but the situation just, I didn't have control at the end of the day, and it wasn't up to me. If it was up to me, you would still be coming.
Yeah. Since we kind of had like an empty seat in the car, Sloth ended up inviting her little sister, baby Sloth, for a graduation present because she was graduating high school. So we kind of quickly replaced Sam's spot.
Which bit us in the ass later.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So skip to July. We start our trip. We are about 5-ish hours away from
New London, Connecticut.
Yeah, New London, Connecticut. But Toad is about 6 hours away. So she went from her house to picking Heaven and I up from my house because I previously picked up Heaven, brought Heaven to my house, and then drove to Sloth's house and picked up Sloth and baby Sloth, and then we drove to Connecticut, and I pretty much slept the entire way.
Except for there was a brief period in the car where Maddie was like, when she was awake, she was like, I think I forgot my shorts. Yeah,
I was just so anxious about it. That's all I could think about was that I thought I forgot my shorts, but it had already been, we were already too far to go back to whenever I realized that I forgot my shorts. And granted, like, I packed light.
You know what else was part of our karma? When I accidentally put your AirPods through my washer.
I forgot about that.
Right after that trip.
Oh my gosh.
It was right after that
you
trip.
killed my AirPods and I had to get new ones.
I tried to pay her back for them, but she wouldn't let me.
Next time, you will.
I'm not putting your AirPods through the washer again. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna put mine through the washer.
Yeah.
No, I put my first set of AirPods through the washer 4 times and they never broke.
Wow.
4 times. Yeah. They didn't even open. Like, they were still in the case.
We get there and I double check my suitcase to see if I packed my shorts, and lo and behold,
no
I did not pack my shorts, and I only packed 2 outfits for the 2 days, and then I had my car outfit, and then I had pajamas. So I did not have another option for the next day. It was either I go buy some new shorts, or I wear the same outfit 3 times, and that was not something that I wanted to do. So I told Toad, like, I said it to everyone in the room, I need to go to the store to go buy some shorts. We could literally go to any store and I'll try my best to find something. They just looked right through me.
And then, so we were like, okay, well, maybe if we look up and say what stores are near us, they can bring us. So we look up what stores are near us. There's a Marshall's like 2 minutes up the road, and a Target 5 minutes up the road. And so we are like, okay, well, there's a Marshall's like basically right across the street. It's like 2 minutes, and there's also a Target right up the road from there. Like we need to go. Like, maybe we could have been more firm in saying, can you bring us? But I felt like it was a little obvious that we were trying to tell them that we were
pretty much asking without saying can you?
And I feel like they expect us to just be like, can you? Like,
will you do it? Can you do it?
So that they could say no.
I was just thinking, if I was in their position and someone was like, I need to go to the store, I'd be like, okay, we can go to the store in so and so minutes. So they were just choosing to not, even if they were confused, they could have asked, like, do you need me to take you to the store? Yes, please. I need you to take me to the store.
Like, there was
nothing
no
like that happened.
Or communication happening between them. So we eat dinner, and then we mention it like 1 or 2 more times, and then they ignore us.
They just like laid on the bed and wasn't paying attention to us. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna go that deep into this, but the freaking hotel motel in stupid crap, it was horrible. It said that had queen beds. They were
like a twin.
They were practically like a little bit bigger than a twin bed. It was not a full size bed, because we have a full size bed in our apartment,
and we know what a full size bed feels like, and that was not
and that was not it. They also had the most horrible pillows, the most horrible blanket. It was the most.
There was only 1 pillow on my side of the bed.
It was literally it was really bad. The place that they chose.
Yeah, because
they did not involve us in the picking of the place.
We technically weren't old enough to even get a hotel.
At the time, yeah.
Sloth was the only one who was old enough.
So we're like, okay, you guys can pick it out.
We gave it her, like the task.
Yeah, and we didn't pay that much for it, but I would have much rather paid a little bit more to actually be able to sleep well. But anyway, so they just continued to choose to not talk to us about this short situation. So then I was like, okay, I gotta go to the store.
So we walked
to Marshall's, and then we couldn't find anything there. So then I Ubered us to go to Target, which was just like 3 minutes down the road, but it was like a 20-minute.
It was $10 there and then $10 back to the hotel.
Yeah, it was a $20 endeavor. So I had to pay an extra $20 just for transportation on top of the $25 that I paid for shorts.
Thankfully, Sloth paid for everyone's DoorDash as a treat, which was nice.
That was very nice of her. She did pay a decent amount of money for us all to get food that night.
It was like $70.
Yeah, it was
it
was a good amount of money. I'm grateful for that. So like at the end of the day, like it was my bad that I forgot shorts. It was just an inconvenience that started the rest of the trip to just kind of be like, I'm getting the vibe that they're not gonna listen to me.
Yeah, so then we get back from Target and they're already asleep. It's 8:30. They have the light off and they have the TV on and they're all in bed.
Pajamas on, brush teeth. Like they are practically asleep at this point.
So like the only reason they even like got out of the bed was to come let us in because we didn't take the key. Or no, we did take the key but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So we had to knock. So we were like, okay. And then we ended up, because we're more night owl people, we stay up decently late. And we played Minecraft till like midnight.
Yeah.
On our phones together, we were playing. And Maddie was crying over how cute the foxes are when they sleep.
They're very cute. Anyway, so then we sleep. And then we were awoken at like
7:30, 8:30, like around that time.
Because they chose that they wanted to wake up at that time and not wake up around like 9 so that we can get to the place around like 10 or 11 or whatever. Because their plan, they chose to go to Mystic the first day instead of going to the beach, which is what we thought we were going to do.
Yeah,
we thought we were going to go to the beach the first day.
And then the town the second day,
because
they changed it and then got mad at me that I even suggested that we were going to do it the other way.
Yeah, they act like we were dumb that we didn't know.
Even though
they didn't tell us.
Yeah, we agreed on that originally, like when we made the original plan. We agreed on that.
Yeah.
But then they switched it and didn't tell us. Like we had a shared note and then we didn't get a notification that they edited it and then they didn't tell us that they changed it. So then we're like, I feel like Toad might have even said, did you even look at the note? And I was like, yeah, I looked at it when we made it. She was just kind of treating me like I was stupid for thinking that we were going to go to the beach the first day. And I'm like, it's a little silly to go to the beach on the 4th of July because, it's busy and, they rip you off for parking and, that kind of stuff. And
yeah, so we end up going to Mystic. Well, first we go to a freaking rinky-dink gas station Dunkin'. That was literally
can't even make a latte.
No, it was literally a coffee machine in the corner of this tiny ass freaking gas station. They couldn't make half of our drinks. So
they were literally only able to make my drink.
Yeah. So we had to drive down to the actual Dunkin', like cafe, just down the street, and they were able to make our drinks there. So it ended up working out, but
it was just frustrating that they didn't check it.
Yeah, and Toad was extremely stressed out for a decision that she made to go to this gas station one that it advertised pretty much on the thing that it was a small place. And if you have reason, like thinking, oh, should we go to the actual Dunkin' or should we go to the gas station?
And the
Dunkin'?
address of the gas station one said Dunkin' Donuts Mobile because it was in a mobile gas station.
So that was just kind of like annoying or whatever, but it was fine. We go to Mystic. Mystic was fine. The only thing was that they didn't really talk to us. They kind of talked to each other.
We talked to each other.
And then whenever we went to Mystic Pizza for lunch, yeah, all we did was whenever we talked together, it was only about previous drama that we had at school.
Or Toad would talk crap about Sam, who is my friend, obviously, and so I would get upset and uncomfortable. And then when I would say I don't like that, or I would kind of joke about it, but I would kind of say that I didn't like it in like a beat around the bush kind of manner. She would say she was gonna leave me there in Connecticut.
And she said that a total of 10 times throughout the entire trip.
Yeah, every time I did something she didn't like, she said that.
She said, "I'm gonna leave you here." And at first it's like, okay, kind of funny,
The
haha.
first time she said it, it was funny.
Yeah,
but
and then
the
it's
rest
like,
of the times I was like, why do you keep saying that? Like,
you-
do you actually want to leave me here?
yeah, do you genuinely not want me to be here? That's
And
what it
then-
felt like, and it also felt like, to me, witnessing it. Okay, Toad is just not
wanting
heaven here. Is not vibing with
And
heaven.
so then leaving me in Connecticut would also be leaving Maddie in Connecticut, because Maddie is not gonna let her just leave me.
No, that's stupid. Yeah, so,
And we would have had
I think they was
someone come get us.
You think it's unserious, but whenever you don't know Toad.
Yeah.
Toad is like not a joking person. So it's like,
genuinely, she's not funny. It's like she doesn't try to be funny.
No,
like, it's like
she's
like,
she's
never
not
really
being
joking.
funny.
Like, she can be funny like when she talks, but she doesn't like intentionally be funny. Where like there's people who like crack jokes and say funny stuff to like make people laugh.
No, she
She's
says
not
it
one
in
of those
all
people.
seriousness. She's like, I'm not kidding.
Like, I'm gonna leave you here.
Like, oh, okay. Like, is that a threat? Like, anyway, so Mystic was fine. Then we go back to the horrible inn. We just stay there. We got there at like 5 p.m. or something like that. Maybe 3.
It was 3.
Yeah, sorry.
It was 3. We got there at 3.
We got there at 3 p.m. and stayed there
For
the rest of the night.
And then, so we start talking about dinner a little bit after we get back, because we're hungry. We had just been out all day, whatever, and it's hot. They don't talk to us, by the way. They talk to each other, and they decide that they want to DoorDash Panera. Well, me and Maddie can't really eat Panera because we have stomach
Lactose
issues
intolerant.
and lactose intolerance, and
I only ever eat mac and cheese from there, so I'm not about to do that to myself.
I'm not about to.
Or the bathroom.
Yeah, like I'm not about to do that, and I genuinely don't want to be having stomach problems in this shitty hotel anyway. So
it's gonna clog the toilet.
The toilet's gonna break because I freaking
because I had some mac and cheese.
So we ended up having to DoorDash our own McDonald's, but on top of having to DoorDash the McDonald's, I needed a pillow, Maddie needed a blanket, and Baby Sloth wanted a Squishmallow. And
so we were like, let's just go to Target to get this stuff, and then we can pick up food along the way, so that it's all cheaper. No, looked straight through us, ordered their food. Okay, looks like we have to do the same.
So we had to order a pillow.
We had to order a pillow, we had to order a blanket, and then Baby Sloth did not end up getting a Squishmallow, which was like, if I was the older sloth, I would have been like, I'm gonna make sure that my little sister is going to get what she wants, because this is my treat to her. But anyway.
So then we get the food, whatever, we're eating, and we're, chit-chatting, and then I started telling a story, and I, made a joke, and then Toad called me ugly, and then I got mad, and I took a nap.
And that's what we did for the rest of the night.
And then, when I woke up, I started singing.
Oh my gosh.
So
Heaven purposely was being annoying because Heaven was just done with
I was
their
already
attitudes.
annoyed with Toad, and actually, Baby Sloth, she went, meow. And one of my things is if somebody does that, I'm going to do it back. So I did it back. And then Toad yelled at me. Baby Sloth did it first, and you're gonna yell at me.
Because it was silent. We were not talking, we were not doing, literally, we were all just on our phone. It was 6 p.m. We were all on our phone.
And Baby Sloth
nothing.
Was bored.
She was so bored.
So she went, meow, meow. And so I was like, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna tease her a little bit, I'm gonna do it back, because I always had a thing where I would meow at people and whatever at school to make them to freak them out and be annoying and whatever. And so I thought it was funny that she did it and that nobody told her that that's one of my things or whatever. So I did it back, and then I got yelled at, and I got yelled at every single time, even if she did it first. And every time I sang out loud, because I don't think I brought my AirPods on that trip.
Because you had to use mine.
I used, so I would have had to share with Maddie if I wanted to use AirPods. So I didn't have music playing out loud, but I was just singing. I was going through the Eras tour.
It's kind of it was quiet. It was quiet.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything crazy.
I was sitting on my phone scrolling or playing Minecraft or something, and be like, "You were tossing me the car keys," and then every time I would do it, Catherine would yell at me.
I mean,
every time I would do it, Toad would yell at me.
I feel like that if it was planned for us to be sitting down and doing nothing for a good portion of this trip, yeah, we should have brought stuff. I would have brought a puzzle. I would have brought nail polish. I would have brought we would have brought things to entertain ourselves because we knew that this is what we were gonna do, but we
thought that we were gonna be out doing stuff, we thought that
we're all like 20 years old. Let's go out and do something tonight. Let's go, let's do something. Like, let's go on a freaking walk on the beach. Like, I would much rather do that than sit here and literally do nothing. Yeah, so it was stupid.
Sloth had her computer
playing The Sims.
Because apparently she knew that we were going to be doing nothing the whole trip, so she was playing The Sims. But neither of us had that luxury because all we had was our phones.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even think, I didn't even bring my iPad, did I?
Yes, you did.
Did I?
She did bring her iPad because I was drawing Taylor Swift on there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was. I was drawing on the iPad and singing Taylor Swift because I had this phase where I was trying to draw all of Taylor Swift's songs on her albums. I'm a horrible artist, so it's like funny drawings, but like it would be like I would think of a lyric of the song and I would draw what I would think of.
It's like the key parts of the song. Moving forward, the next day we went to the beach. They woke us up around 9-ish. We got ready, and then once again, unfortunately on our part, Heaven forgot a towel. So I was like, okay, we need to go to Five Below so that Heaven can have a towel to sit on at the beach. I said this, I don't even know how many times.
You probably said it 100 times, and I probably said it 50 times.
Like, it was
Genuinely,
insane.
We repeated it over and over and over and over again.
I looked at Toad. I looked at Sloth and said, we need to go get a towel. Nothing. It was like I was a ghost.
And we literally had a conversation with Toad about how I forgot my towel, and Maddie said, I don't want to share a towel with Heaven. No offense to you, Heaven, but I don't want to share a towel.
And we all know that I was going to be the only one that would share a towel.
None of them
Toad and Sloth would have never shared a towel.
And I don't know Baby Sloth like that enough to even ask her to share a towel with me.
No.
So Maddie was going to be the one that was forced to share a towel with. So I didn't want to inconvenience her that way. When we can stop at a Five Below, which was on the way. I looked, it was on the way. It was 7 minutes away from the place, and it was from the hotel, and it was like 3 to 5 minutes away from the beach.
Yeah. So, of course, we went to go get a coffee before we went to, I thought it was going to be Five Below, but it ended up being the beach. They chose a different Dunkin' from the previous day, because they didn't know what they were doing and chose a different Dunkin'. This Dunkin' was the worst Dunkin' I have ever been to in my entire life. We waited there for an hour on our mobile orders. An hour.
You're supposed to get your mobile order, like, the point of a mobile order is to get it fast and convenient, and so it will be convenient. And guess what? We waited an hour. But what was weird was we got our food, but they wouldn't put out our drinks. Like, some of us ordered food, and we got our breakfast sandwiches and our donuts or whatever, but they wouldn't give us our drinks. And then the customers were, like, making fun of us in Spanish and, like, pointing at us and laughing at us or getting mad at us for, like, standing around waiting for our mobile orders.
It was a very toxic environment because the
workers
were laughing at us and talking about us, and then the customers were all doing the same thing and yelling at us, and then the other customers were yelling at the workers. It was the worst thing ever. I put a very nasty review.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. Afterwards, I was like, I'm pissed off. I put a review. It's the only time I've ever reviewed a place.
The only time I ever did was a tattoo place. Oh, and my old job.
Right. So
I was like, this job sucks.
You may be thinking, why didn't you just go up and ask for the order?
We
Toad
tried.
and Sloth. Well, mainly Toad. I don't really remember Sloth.
Sloth ended up going up on her own to get hers.
Yeah.
But didn't ask for any of ours.
Yeah. So Toad was like, no. I was like, okay, I'm like really thinking about going up and asking because this is ridiculous. Like, we should not be sitting here. We're wasting time. I'm about to go freaking ask them. Like, I'm about to go ask them where the hell is my order? Like, where the hell is my coffee?
It's been an hour.
Yeah, but Toad was like, no, like, I don't want, like, not right now, like, not right now. I don't know why I listened. I honestly don't know why I listened. I think that Toad just kind of intimidated me a little bit.
She has a very intimidating aura, unfortunately, and I don't want to give her that power because she likes the fact that that's the case, but it is true and it makes other people uncomfortable. Like, it isn't genuinely that we're, like, afraid of her, I guess. It's that she intimidates you because you're afraid she's going to make you uncomfortable.
Or yell at you, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't do it, she wants.
Yeah, so we waited there. Eventually, we ended up getting it. And then we left. And I'm like, this entire time, during the hour of us being at Dunkin', I'm like, we need to go to Five Below. We need to go to Five Below. Like, I literally said it like I was like a freaking parrot. Like, saying it over and over and over again.
Literally, like,
get into the car, and I'm like, do you think we're going to go to Five Below to Heaven?
And I said,
then,
no.
Nope. And then we freaking go straight to the beach. That costed
$50 for parking. You know what I said? we shouldn't go to the beach on 4th of July because the parking is going to be outrageous and the beach is going to be busy. The beach wasn't that busy, but it was $50 for parking.
It would have been busier later in the night.
Yeah, because we went early in the morning. Mm-hmm. But, like, if we had, like, been there for, like, another hour, people would have started to flood the beach. But,
it costs $50 for us to get there.
And normal parking during the week is $25, and on the weekends is $30. So we had to split a $50 parking because nobody listened to me. And what frustrated me was Toad is from a town in New York where there are more cows than there are people. Nowhere near a beach. There are 5 beaches within 30 minutes to an hour of my house. I know what a beach looks like on the 4th of July. I have made the mistake of going to the beach on the 4th of July. I didn't want to do it again. And I know what I'm talking about. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. And then whenever we freaking get up to the gate and they realize that it's freaking $50, Sloth was like, so it's going to be $12.50 each. And I'm sitting there like,
how? Like, there's 5 of us.
Literally 5 of us. It should be $10. And she's like, I'm not going to make baby Sloth pay for it. I'm like, so you're going to make us pay for your sister? No.
Like, that's
I don't think so. I know it's only $3.
But, like, if you wanted us to have paid for your sister, you should have asked us ahead of time. You shouldn't have put
She should have asked us.
She should have
asked us. If she asked us, I would have said yes. I'm like, sure, okay, yeah. The fact that she said, we're going to do this, you're going to do this, I was like, no. No, I'm not going to pay for your sister. This is your gift to her, not mine.
And so then we get to the beach, we end up parking, we walk over. We go to the gift shop immediately to look for a towel because, I didn't want to make Maddie have share a towel with me. And
they were $30.
They were $30. The cheapest one was $25, and it felt like sandpaper on your ass.
It was horrible.
And then the other one was nicer, but it was $30 and it was ugly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to buy a towel that says Ocean Beach City, New London.
Yeah.
That's ugly.
Yeah, so we went up to the beach and I was like, okay, I guess you're going to have to share my towel. Like, I guess it is what it is. And then they laid out their towels facing the beach, the water. And then baby Sloth had all of her bags and all of her shoes and all that stuff on the side, and then Toad did the same thing and put all of her bags and stuff on her side, so we couldn't sit next to them, so we had to sit behind them because they chose to put their stuff like that instead of putting it in front of them
or behind them.
So we had to sit behind them, curled up in a ball, and they were all laying out, tanning, reading their book, and we were just sitting there literally hunched over,
literally knees to chest and our arms over our knees.
And I hate sand. Like if it was anywhere else, I would have just sat on the freaking floor. I don't mind dirt. I hate sand. I don't really like the beach. I was taking one for the team, going to the beach in the first place.
And then she had to take another one for our team to freaking share a stupid towel.
Yeah.
With me for a ridiculous
all
reason.
All we wanted to do was literally just lay there and just relax and chill, drink some drinks, literally just lay down and soak in the sun, but that couldn't happen because they wouldn't go to freaking 5 Below. So we're chilling there. It starts to sprinkle a little bit. We play a beach ball game, and every time the ball flew away, Toad yelled at heaven to go get the ball.
Even if I didn't hit it. Yeah. But most of the time it was when I hit it, but there were times when even when I didn't hit it and it was baby Sloth that hit it, I was still yelled at. And I'm like, I'm not going to get the ball. Whoever's closest is supposed to get the ball.
The thing is that she actually yelled at her. She actually yelled at heaven. Like, actually yelled. It wasn't just like,
and told
okay,
me,
heaven, go get the ball, which is not great either.
Yeah, that was kind of bitchy too, but like, I would rather that than be yelled at.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, I'm not going to go get the ball. The way that it's supposed to go is whoever's closest is going to go get the ball. So, Sloth, you're closest, go get the ball. And Sloth went over and got the ball. That pissed me off, and I was told that I was going to be left there, and that pissed me off. So I took out my phone, and I went to go sit down, and I texted Sam the address of the hotel to tell her to come get me. And I was like, you might need to come get me. Genuinely, I was 100% serious that she may need to come get me. And she was going to leave work. She worked, I think, at TJ Maxx or Dairy Queen at the time. And she was going to leave work to come get me in a different state, which was 6 hours away from her, because she is an hour away from us, where we live.
Yeah, she was willing to drive. Whatever.
She was willing to drive 6 hours to come get me because I kept being threatened to be left in a different state, which It's a kidnapping charge, by the way. I looked it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so after that, we went into the water, we hung out a little bit, and then Heaven got
we were sitting
period.
down. I asked when we were gonna leave, and then I was thinking because I asked around 2 I think I asked around 2:15, and then Sloth was like we should leave around 3 or 3:30, and then Toad was like we should leave at 3:30. I want to stay for another hour, and we're like, are you kidding me? Like we're miserable. Like we're literally sitting in the sun getting weird sunburns because we can't stretch out our legs or like sit comfortably or anything. Like, and so we're sitting for another like 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden I feel crampy. And I'm like, oh shit. So then I'm like sitting there for another minute, and I'm like, for some reason, like my shorts were already wet because we had gone in the water, but I'm like thinking like I feel like I'm gonna get it, and then I look down and there's like a little puddle of blood on Maddie's towel. Trigger warning of blood. And then
Heaven was not supposed to get.
I was not supposed to get my period for 5 days to a week.
Yeah, so it came early, so it's not like Heaven could prepare for it.
No, like I know like you're like, oh, you never know when your period's gonna come, like you should be prepared, but like
most of the time I feel like
I'm not
cycles
gonna
are
be
pretty accurate, at least for me.
For me too, they're mostly really accurate. Yours lately have not been
not
accurate,
recently, but
mine usually are really accurate, so I was like I wasn't expecting to get it so soon. And then like we were already supposed to be well back from the trip when I got it. So I was like, so then I'm like, oh crap. So then I whispered to Maddie and I'm like, we need to go to the bathroom. I got my period. So we go to the gift shop and they give me a tampon, thankfully. And then I go to the bathroom and I try to clean off my shorts, but I can't clean off my shorts because I don't have another pair of shorts to change into. And I can't clean the bottom of my shorts if I don't take them off. Yeah. So then I go to the gift shop to see if they have like even like a pair of booty shorts that would fit me, and they only had like a youth small.
They're all really expensive too.
Yeah, and they were like $50.
And mind you, we're tight on money. Like we don't have a whole lot of money to spend.
So I'm like I can't even get those. They won't even fit on one of my legs.
Yeah, and Heaven, it's not like Heaven was just like, oh, like okay, this is a good excuse for us to go. Like Heaven was genuinely
like I was almost in tears,
like upset.
So
like I'm embarrassed that I bled everywhere. I'm embarrassed that we have to leave early because of me. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know this was gonna happen. Like it wasn't a happy thing at all. So I was trying to kind of I was like, well, we got to tell them, like, you're uncomfortable, there's no point in staying here if you're uncomfortable, like, this is supposed to be fun. I'm sure they'll understand, whatever. We get there, we're like, hey guys, we need to leave, haven't got the period, we need to go. And they were just like, I said I got my period, can we leave? And then they go, sure, and then roll their eyes at me, and then they start aggressively packing up their things, like throwing their stuff in the bag, not talking to us, just zipping up their bags aggressively. It was really awkward. And then when we start walking back to the car, they're walking like 5 feet ahead of us, so we can't. Well, we ended up. Well, we actually went to the gift store again, so that they could get their stuff that they wanted, like their memorabilia stuff, which is fine. It's whatever. Heaven's just sitting there free bleeding. Not really, actually. I had a tampon. Anyway, but I was still covered in blood. Yeah, so we're doing the gift shop stuff. We're in the shop for a little bit, and I look out the window, and Toad and Sloth are freaking like side eyeing us and talking to each other in a secretive way. I'm like, they're definitely talking shit about us right now. Like, from what I gathered, their issue was that I wasn't prepared. Mm-hmm. Like obviously we feel bad that we cut the time short, but at the same time, you also know what cut the time short? Sitting at Dunkin' for an hour. So we would have been there another hour longer if you had just let us go tell them that they don't have our orders. Or if we just went to the original Dunkin' in the first place. But anyway, so... And also, I even said that I wouldn't have had an issue staying with the bloody shorts if I had my own towel. Yeah. Because I wanted to buy the towel that I was thinking about buying was a black towel with a video game controller on it. I did not care if I bleed on it. Heaven was embarrassed about bleeding on my towel, which I didn't care. But, obviously I would have been embarrassed too. Like, it's kind of an embarrassing thing. It shouldn't be something to be embarrassed of, but it's fine. It's whatever. It happened. So, we're leaving the beach after we're done with the, whatever it's called thing, and they're walking 5 feet in front of us. They refuse to talk to us. We're just walking in front of us, and we're just like we're like little sad puppies behind them. Like, we feel bad, but we're also pissed off that they're reacting this way. And so we get in the car, and then obviously I have to go get stuff for my period because I wasn't prepared because I didn't know I was going to get it. So instead of, saying to Toad, hey, can you stop at the gas station for me, I had to text
Sloth and ask her to ask Toad. Because Toad wouldn't have listened to me or would have gotten mad.
And Toad was like, yeah, sure.
Without any issues.
Yeah. Like, anyway, stopped at the gas station. We grabbed some pads, tampons, whatever the heck we needed.
I think Maddie might have grabbed candy, probably.
Yeah, I probably grabbed a sweet treat because we weren't going to get dinner till
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Actually, we didn't know that until we got back to the hotel, though.
Well, I was starving. Okay, so I got some food. I was starving. We get back to the place. They all go to the restroom before Heaven. Heaven is literally standing there against the wall. Can't sit on anything because there's blood all over the shorts.
Because I'm cramping so bad.
And they all go into the restroom, not paying any attention to what's going on, and then I let Heaven go to the restroom before me.
Maddie's the only one who was like, you can go, like, you need to go, like, please go in the bathroom, like, take care of, like, what you need to take care of. And
then we sit around and we wait, because then we're like, okay, so we're gonna go to dinner now? No.
Because it was like, it was probably around 3:30, almost 4 when we get back to the place, and then we're all, like, changed and stuff. So it's around 4:30 by the time we get, like, dressed, and we're, like, and sitting in bed, and we're like, hey, when are we gonna get dinner? And then I was like, we're pretty hungry, so maybe, like, 5. And then Baby Sloth was like, no, let's go more towards 5:36 because I don't want to be in the hotel all day.
She's like, I don't want to be here all night. Like, which is like a, you know.
Yeah, like, we didn't fault her for that. And they obviously, because it was us that said, or that it wasn't us that said we should go at 6. They said that was fine. But so we ended up going to dinner at 6. So we had to sit in the hotel for another 2 hours and starve to death and eat like a whole bag of Takis instead of real food because we were waiting to go eat real food. And then we get to dinner, and Toad was a horrible driver on the way there. We
like,
really missed every turn.
It literally took like 15 minutes to
get to a place that was 3 minutes away from our hotel.
Yeah, it was pretty sad and upsetting to me because I also get really car sick. So it's like, okay, I don't want to be in the car for any longer than I have to be. And we were in there for way too long. But anyway, so we get to the restaurant. The restaurant thing was fine, besides the fact that all I did once again was talk about drama
or have Toad be mean to me.
Yeah.
Because Baby Sloth made a joke to older Sloth and was like, you're old enough to drink. You should get a drink and get lit. And then Sloth was like, no, like, whatever. And I was like, nah, you should get me a drink so I can get lit. And then Catherine was like, you're annoying when you're drunk. I don't want to deal with you drinking. And I was like, first of all, 1 drink is not going to get me drunk. Second of all, why did you feel the need to say that?
She always just made very unnecessary and mean comments to Heaven. So it just kind of made the trip uncomfortable to a degree whenever it came to that. Anyway, so we go back, we get ready, we get ready for bed, we fall asleep, whatever. They wake us up at 7 in the morning. We're supposed to be out of there by 11.
And wakes us up at 7, and we are out of the door by 7. We, like, leave to drive. Like, we're driving by 7:50.
I was so annoyed. Beyond pissed off.
Because, like, why are you... This is supposed to be a vacation. It's supposed to be relaxing, and you're waking me up at 7 a.m. to drive home. Like, even if we left at 11, you would get back to your house by 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a bad wake-up call. And then we get into the car. The car drive was fine up until lunch. And Sloth thought that she found a Chick-fil-A. So we're like, oh, yay, Chick-fil-A. We all like Chick-fil-A. Let's go to Chick-fil-A. But, of course, once again...
Let's preface that Toad and Sloth and Baby Sloth don't really have Chick-fil-A's near them.
Yeah.
We do because we live in Syracuse. There's, like, 1 or 2 in Syracuse. But they don't have any near them. The nearest one for them, I know, like, is 20 to 30 to an hour away. So they don't very often.
Yeah, so they were looking forward to it. But once again, they freaking Sloth accidentally picked out a Chick-fil-A that was in an airport, so we couldn't get it. So they were so excited for this Chick-fil-A, and as soon as they realized it was in an airport, the mood completely shifted to just anger and upsetness, and we're like, okay, this is an unfortunate situation. Of course, we're all sad that we can't get Chick-fil-A, but we need to go get food. We pull over to the mall that's like right next to the airport. And I immediately am looking at my phone, looking at places to eat that's nearby that I know that we can all find something to eat, which is McDonald's, because we all have McDonald's often at school. So I'm looking, I find a McDonald's that is like 2 minutes down the road from this mall. So I say, I found a McDonald's. What about McDonald's?
Silence.
No one freaking answers me.
And then a couple seconds go by, and then Baby Sloth goes, is it in a mall or is it standalone? And Maddie goes, it's standalone. And then we just start driving.
No acknowledgement.
Nobody says anything, and
nothing,
we just start driving.
Just start driving, and then
we go to this McDonald's.
We just appear at this McDonald's. I'm like, okay, well, thanks for letting me know that you guys actually listened to me. Whatever. We get to this McDonald's. We decide to eat inside. This
is really funny and low-key embarrassing for Toad, but... Because were you going to say what I think you're going to say?
I don't know.
Okay, so what I was going to say that's embarrassing for Toad is we get there, we put our stuff down. Me and Maddie put our stuff on, so it's like 2 tables, and then there's like benches, and then there's like 2 seats on the other side, like regular chairs on the other side at this McDonald's. And we set our stuff down, and we sit at the chairs at the first table. And then Toad sets her stuff down on the other side of us at this bench.
Oh.
So then Sloth and Baby Sloth come behind us, and then they put their stuff next to us at the table at the other bench. So then Toad realizes that, picks up her bag, and moves it to their table.
Instead of sitting with us.
Which is like
right in front of us, too.
Like, we watched her do it while we were sitting there.
We were like, oh, we kind of like, oh, she's going to sit next to us. Like, it kind of made us a little happy. Like that she was wanting to sit next to us. And then she saw, and then moved it right in front of us. We're like, okay. Like, I genuinely thought it was so funny.
Like, it was like we were like texting each other, like giggling about it, I feel like. And like
I was also so pissed off and
like that's rude. That's genuinely
it was very rude.
And then we eat whatever, it's fine. And then we get back in the car, and then we start driving again. We drop off the Sloth gang.
Yeah.
And
say bye to them. It was like, okay, bye, whatever.
And then I go, to be polite, I go get up in the front seat. I didn't want to.
Just so that Toad wouldn't be alone.
But I was like, she's going to be mad if I don't go up front.
Yeah.
So I go up front, and I also wanted, because she sleeps in the car, I wanted to let her have room to stretch her legs out. So I went up front, and I have one of her AirPods in, and I'm listening to music or whatever, and then Toad gets gas, and then she goes and gets a Gatorade, whatever, and then we're on the road, and anytime I try to talk to her, she just ignores me, or just goes, yeah, whatever. And so
I start talking about some, like, funny drama about my friend, and I'm just kind of like just talking to Heaven about it because it's silent. We're not listening to music or anything loud. Like
her music is pretty low.
It's very low. It's just like background noise.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to Heaven about it.
And then she starts turning up the radio.
In the middle of my conversation, she starts turning up the radio.
Crank.
Like, it gets so loud to the point where I'm literally talking like this to Heaven in the car, and we're like this far apart from each other.
Yeah, and I'm a very I'm a very harsh person when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm just yelling over it. I don't care.
Like,
I'm gonna yell over it.
We didn't care. We just started yelling at each other.
And then eventually she realized that we weren't gonna stop talking, so she turned it down.
Yeah, I was so.
I was so mad too. I was like...
So then she drops...
No, and then we were driving for a while. We end up sleeping for most of the trip because she's rude. And then I wake up about 40 minutes... Are you laughing because she's rude? So then... Well, she slept because she gets car sick. I slept because the driver is rude. So then we get about 40 minutes away from our destination, and I decide to try to talk to her again. And I started talking about these other girls that we knew at our old school, and they were, like, known for being, like, very close best friends for a long time, and they had stopped being friends. And I heard from a friend that we all shared that had happened, and then she told me that I was lying. And then I literally showed her proof, and she still told me I was lying. And I was like, why would I be lying? So then I was just like... And then I put my other AirPod in, and I looked out the window until we got back to Maddie's.
Yeah, so then we got back to my place, and then we just kind of, like... At this point, like, I just feel so, like, deflated.
We're both
we're very drained. Deflated.
We go over to the gas station, and we get some Dippin' Dots, because we're sad. And like, upset. Mm-hmm. And then we debrief with her mom.
Yeah, we just talked to my mom about everything that went down, because Heaven's going to sleep over at my place that night. And then, like, an hour or maybe, like, 2 hours later, because at that point, Toad would have been home.
Yeah.
Sloth texted the group chat.
It was Toad.
Oh.
Toad texted the group chat and goes, between parking for Mystic, which was never agreed that we were going to pay, between parking for Mystic, parking for the beach and gas, you guys owe me $34.50, which she went straight to the centage. Like, that's crazy. Like, really, you had to add that 50 cents? Is it really that deep?
So like, at the end of the day, that is not that much money, and we did agree on helping pay for gas
and parking for the beach.
For the beach, yeah, we only agreed for paying parking for the beach, and then a little bit for gas.
So
because she only had to fill up her tank twice. Yeah,
and because she didn't take us anywhere. So then I texted in the group chat, which this kind of makes me an asshole, but like at the same time, like I'm not gonna deal with this stuff. So I was like, unfortunately, I will not be paying you because I don't feel, due to the DoorDash and the Uber Eats type costs and the fact that we were never taken anywhere we specifically asked to go, I will not be paying you. And then
I think I did end up paying Sloth.
We asked to pay Sloth back for the Chinese food.
I thought I sent her some money though.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I feel like later I was like, I'm just gonna send her some of the money.
We didn't have to pay her. We had to pay Toad.
I know, but I didn't. Toad refused to talk to us though, so I was like, I'm just gonna send it to Sloth.
I think you sent her $10.
I think all I know is I'm pretty sure I sent her a little bit of money after it all went down.
But so basically, we're arguing in the group chat, and then
I mean, so Heaven was like, I'm not gonna pay the money because we were not accounting for all of the Uber Eats costs, the time that we had to Uber drive because you wouldn't take us anywhere, and like, you know, the fact that we weren't listened to at all. Whatever.
Like, we expected to be able to be taken places, and we weren't. And like, if we needed to go get something, we were expected to be able to do that. And since that didn't happen, I'm not paying you.
Also, just the blatant like
disrespect.
I'm
not
gonna
pay
half
someone
the time
who disrespected me.
And I didn't necessarily like that. I don't like that we did this, but it was kind of standing our ground afterwards, which is what we should have done at that time.
But I was like, no, at this point I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this
and
anymore.
Rightfully so, they were upset with us that we weren't going to pay for it.
I will say my intention was to say that I wasn't going to pay them, and then if they apologized, I was going to pay them. I was like, I just wanted to have a conversation, and I knew that they weren't going to address it unless I did something that made them angry. So I said something that made them angry, and so Toad didn't say anything.
Nothing.
Not a single word.
The entire time.
Crickets. And then
she was reading it though.
She was reading it. Like, you could see, you know, on Snapchat and a group chat, you can see their Bitmojis and stuff, like viewing the thing. She's viewing the whole conversation.
Sloth is going off on us, which was kind of to be expected, but not really from Sloth because she's a very soft-spoken person. But
one of the things, like, it was basically like, well, I DoorDashed as a treat for everyone. I did this and blah blah blah, and then we were kind of going back and forth. Anytime Maddie said anything, it was disregarded completely.
No one addressed anything that I said.
It only would talk to me, like, to the point where at one point she said, "Don't text. I want to say something. Don't text until after they respond to what I said."
But they still didn't respond to what I said.
Yes, they did, because you said, because they got mad at me for having my period. They literally said I was mad that Heaven got their period. So then Maddie was like, I feel that that's unkind.
Yeah, I barely said anything. I was like, I feel like that is an unkind thing to say because we're all girls. Like, we all have periods. Like, you can't be upset with someone for having a period. So then I said that I feel like that is unkind, and Sloth
left the group chat.
Was so mad at me for saying that.
Sent a whole essay and then left the group chat so we couldn't actually read it. And then we were like, can't read what she said if she leaves the group chat. And then I was like, my issues were never with Sloth. My issues were with Toad. Like, Toad, why are you not saying anything? Like, speak up. And then she left the group chat too.
Yeah. So obviously we're upset and distressed about this. And then Heaven,
I reached out
to Sloth.
No, I reached out to Toad. Personally, I reached out to her and was like, that whole conversation was honestly ridiculous in my opinion. If we had a genuine, respectful conversation, I would have figured out paying you, and I would have been open to it. But you once again ignored everything I said, and then left the group chat as soon as I called you out for ignoring me. And then basically all she said was that I was a shitty friend for 2 years, and that a best friend shouldn't make her feel like shit, and all this stuff, and that she was blocking me, basically. Didn't address anything I said again.
No.
And just put everything on me, because everything's always my fault, apparently.
Yeah, and then we talked to... Didn't you talk to Sloth?
I reached out and I apologized to Sloth, and I was like, this wasn't anything to do with you. I'm sorry
Like,
that you got dragged into
I'll
it.
send the money.
I'll send you whatever money you want. I'll give you some money for the Chinese food you
and, like,
ordered.
you can choose to do what you want. Like, if Sloth was gonna give it to Toad, like, it's fine.
Like,
it's
I just
like,
want to send it to you because I don't want you to think that I have an issue with you.
Yeah, and the point was not necessarily to not pay the money, because at the end of the day, it wasn't that much money, and it would have been fine. It was to make a point of the fact that we felt uncomfortable, and that it wasn't necessarily fair. And we also didn't feel comfortable paying for things that we did not agree upon. So, Sloth sent back this kind of long response.
A day later, by the way.
A day later, sent a long response to Heaven. And then, I also ended up, texting Sloth, like, apologizing for saying, like, I thought it was unkind or whatever, and trying to more explain what I was trying to say. Like, I never intended to make her feel upset, and I didn't think that was gonna, like, trigger her in any way. So it was like, I didn't mean it to hurt her. So I reached out to her, and then she sent the exact same response to
Except
me.
for she changed where she said you to me, she changed it to Heaven. That was it.
Yeah, that was the only, like, it was copy and paste. I literally held both of our phones together and read it side by side, the exact same thing. So I have never reached out to Sloth again.
Sloth has reached out to me a couple times, and then we've, like, chatted each other's stories.
I think she sent me like a TikTok, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and she sends me TikTok sometimes, but ever since then, we haven't really spoken to either of them. Toad likes to repost things about how me and Sam were shitty friends.
So that story ended up with pretty much just us staying, together, and then Sam also sticking with us. They're off in their own world. I have no idea if they're still friends. Obviously the sloths are still sisters. The baby sloth was so unproblematic. I don't have a problem with her at all, and I honestly,
she was so funny.
I feel bad that it all went down with her. Like, she honestly should have never been involved. All that to say, I'm not going to go into as detail with my friend group. I went on a senior trip with my high school friends. It was very easy, very luxurious, but whenever it came towards the end of the trip, I kind of ran into a similar situation where one friend, there kind of became like a divide, where this one friend, where I'm going to call her Cheese, where Cheese had a hard time with me, and then Evelyn. Like, we were all just kind of like butting. Because... Yeah, I know. We all just kind of butting heads at the end, because I unfortunately caused a bit of a mess. Plans changed. Things, whenever there's not like a parent adult around, all the pressure and stuff goes on us. There was a lot of things about a boy. There was struggles with traveling. And at the end of the day, Cheese, like, for the rest of the summer after the trip, Cheese and Evelyn and I did not hang out. So it just, going on friend trips is just
don't recommend without
something I recommend doing unless you're like practically sisters and you're going on like a family trip. That sounds like the most fun thing to do.
Yeah,
but that's
a lot of us only have like maybe one friend that's like that. So mine's Kylie. Shout out to her if she watches this podcast.
Mine's Jenna. Shout out to you, Jenna.
I don't know if she watches the podcast.
I don't think she does. But hi, Jenna. Anyway,
I like Jenna. She's really sweet.
Yeah, I like her too.
Well, she's your sister.
Pretty much, yeah. So, all that to say, whenever you're in college friendships can be great things. But for our story, at the end of the day, the solution would have been that we took our own car. And I will never make that mistake again. If I am going anywhere, I'm having my own transportation.
Or, like, if you're going on a trip with, like, a partner or something, like, make sure, like, you both, like, are sharing your car and, like, you both have equal access to the car. Just make sure that you're, like, sharing, you're like, open about sharing the car, and, like, you both have, like, the comfort and, like,
there just
driving
needs to be
and respect for each other to,
more communication amongst expectations. And since this was our first time doing it with this group of people,
it left us a bad taste. Neither of us ever want to go on a trip with our friends ever again.
No. Like, I know I will probably eventually.
We're going on a trip with our friends in November.
Oh yeah, we're going to. Yeah, that's true.
We have to stay.
But that's going to be fun.
Canada.
That's going to be fun. I hope that's fun.
It better be fun. It better be fun. Kill all of you.
Yes. Anyway.
If they die, it's because they ruined my birthday trip. And I will go to jail for it. Like,
get away.
These are my handcuffs. Yeah, facts. I'm in the getaway car. Left me in the motel bar.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway, this has gone. So that was a really detailed story time that we've never done before. But if you want more,
we have plenty of
stories that we could talk about. So that was fun for us. There's now we don't really have any bad beef with them. It's fine. Well, it's fine. I mean, we do. But
it's more I hold a grudge against Toad because I thought that we were friends, and I thought that she cared about me in a way that she really didn't, and she had me under this impression because before this trip, she was texting me that she missed me, that she loved me. She was making me, like, friendship bracelets, and she was buying me, like, puzzles of, like, games I liked. Like, it was very, like, weird to, like, go from such a drastic switch in our friendship, and that really hurts me.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. So, be very, very careful of who you're going on trips with.
And watch your back, because... Watch your back, because some of your friends will stab you.
Maybe sometimes keeping your enemies closer is not a good idea. Truly.
She wasn't even my enemy, though. That's what's unfortunate. I kept my friends too close.
And they became enemies.
Yeah.
Bad.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Anyway.
Hands up, pussies.
Okay, so I'm going to finish this episode. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Heaven, for joining us once again. Sorry for the video watchers this current.
It gets dark.
It's very unfortunate.
Follow her at Mad Rose Pie on all the things. Follow me at Not So Heavenly on all the things, and Lee is spelled Lea.
Yeah,
because I'm built different.
Everything is linked below on my end.
Is really clever, so please. I came up with that on the spot.
Yeah. So follow me at Mad Rose Pie at all things, like Heaven said, and then
follow me too.
And make sure you follow Heaven.
She'll link both of our socials in the description below.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'll link Heaven's stuff below.
I'm trying to get TikTok famous too, girl.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm trying to get TikTok famous so I can tell Taylor Swift to play the last time at our concert.
Right. So if you want your story to be on the next episode, you can write in your story at kindaunamusepod@yahoo.com, or you can DM me at Mad Rose Pie.
If you're feeling fun, you could also DM me.
You can also DM Heaven if you feel.
Because I will send it to her.
Yes.
Or I will send her a video of me reading it.
Oh my gosh. Please
and
no.
I can do a pop culture prescription. Shout out to Jake Shane. That's his idea. I will do that too. I love doing that. I do that to all my friends now because of him.
If you want Heaven on more of the podcast, you should rate this podcast. So I
rate it a 5 because we slay and we're so funny.
We're so funny. Oh my gosh.
Do you have a sense of humor?
Okay, anyway, we love you. Bye.
Peace out. Tense up.
I knew you were going to do that.